The black waiter served a woman in a wheelchair. But when she handed him a newspaper clipping, life often unfolds in unpredictable ways. A single moment can spark a series of events that ripple through time, shaping lives in ways we never imagined. This is the story of Adam Carter, a humble waiter who unknowingly became a hero. Through acts of courage, kindness, and resilience, he discovers the profound impact of his actions. Let me take you through his remarkable journey. Starting on a fateful evening in bustling downtown Chicago, Adam Carter was 29, a diligent waiter at the Golden Vine, an elegant restaurant nestled in the heart of downtown Chicago. The soft hum of conversations and the clinking of glasses echoed throughout the room as Adam maneuvered deftly between tables, his hands steady despite the balancing act of trays laden with gourmet dishes. A bachelor's degree in marketing had done little to shield him from the harsh realities of the job market. But Adam took pride in his work. Raised in a working-class neighborhood on the city's south side, he had inherited an unwavering work ethic from his parents, his father, a factory worker, and his mother, a teacher. This Friday night felt like any other, but fate had other plans. As Adam moved to his next table, he noticed a woman in a wheelchair being seated. She appeared to be in her late 50s, her silver-streaked hair framing a face lined with gentle wisdom. Her kind eyes darted around the room as though searching for something, or someone. Adam felt an inexplicable pull toward her. "Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to the Golden Vine. My name is Adam, and I'll be your server tonight. Can I start you off with a drink?" he said warmly. The woman's eyes fixed on him, and for a fleeting moment, Adam thought he saw a glimmer of recognition. "A glass of white wine, please, whatever you recommend," she said with a soft smile. Adam nodded and headed to the bar, the feeling that this encounter was somehow significant nagging at the back of his mind. When he returned with a crisp Chardonnay, the woman was tracing her fingers over the menu absent-mindedly. "Have you decided on your meal? Or would you like more time?" Adam asked. "I'll have the grilled salmon," she replied, her voice steady but reflective. Then, after a pause, she added, "Adam, do you mind sitting with me for a moment? I'd like to talk to you about something." Adam was taken aback. Sitting with customers wasn't standard practice. But something in her tone compelled him to comply. "Sure," he replied, cautiously pulling out a chair and sitting across from her. The woman leaned forward, her gaze intense yet kind. "I wanted to thank you, not just for your service tonight, but for something you did a long time ago." Adam furrowed his brow, puzzled. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but have we met before?" "No," she said, shaking her head, "but 5 years ago, you saved my daughter's life." The words hit Adam like a bolt of lightning. Before he could respond, the woman reached into her purse, pulling out a folded newspaper clipping. She smoothed it out and slid it across the table. The headline read, "Local Hero Saves Woman from Burning Car." Adam's breath caught as his eyes fell on the grainy photograph. There he was, his face smudged with soot, helping paramedics load an injured woman into an ambulance. The memory came rushing back. He had been walking home from a late-night study session when he'd witnessed the crash. Without hesitation, he had run to the burning car and pulled the unconscious driver to safety moments before it exploded. "Yes, that's me," Adam murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "But how did you?" "My name is Helen Watson," the woman said, her voice trembling with emotion. "And the woman you saved that night is my daughter, Emily." Adam sat back, stunned. He had often thought about the incident, wondering what had become of the woman he'd saved. But life had moved on. And so had he, until now. Helen's voice softened as she continued. Emily suffered severe injuries, including a spinal cord injury that left her paralyzed. But thanks to you, she's alive. She's a motivational speaker now, sharing her story of survival with others. Adam felt a lump rise in his throat. I don't know what to say. I just did what anyone would have done. No, Adam, Helen said firmly, most people wouldn't have done what you did. You didn't just save her life, you gave our family hope. For a moment, they sat in silence, the weight of her words sinking in. Helen reached across the table and took Adam's hand. Emily has wanted to thank you for years. But we had no way of finding you. The police report only listed you as a good Samaritan. It wasn't until last week, when my husband and I dined here, that I recognized you from the photo. Adam shook his head, still processing the surreal turn of events. I can't believe this, after all these years, and here, of all places. The universe works in mysterious ways, Helen said with a smile. And Adam, I think you needed to hear this just as much as we needed to tell you. Adam swallowed hard, his mind racing. For years, he had felt stuck, as though his life had stagnated. But now, hearing how his actions had rippled through someone else's life, he felt a spark ignite within him. Helen, he said, his voice steady despite the storm of emotions brewing inside. Thank you for sharing this with me. I never knew, never imagined, that night would have such far-reaching consequences. Helen smiled, her eyes glistening with tears. Emily is speaking at a community center next week. I know she'd love to meet you. I'd like that, Adam said, his voice filled with quiet determination. I'd like that very much. As Adam returned to his duties, the weight on his shoulders felt lighter. For the first time in years, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a connection to something greater than himself. That night, as he lay in bed, he replayed Helen's words in his mind. He had always thought of that night as a fleeting moment of courage. But now he saw it as a turning point, not just for Emily, but for himself. The days leading up to Emily's speech were a blur of anticipation. Adam watched videos of her online, marveling at her strength and positivity. Her words stirred something deep within him, making him question the life he had settled for. Why had he allowed fear and complacency to hold him back? By the time the night of the speech arrived, Adam felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He sat in the audience, his heart pounding as Emily wheeled onto the stage. Her presence was magnetic, her voice steady as she recounted her journey from the accident to her new role as a motivational speaker. And to the man who saved my life, Emily said, her voice cracking with emotion. I hope you're out there. I hope you know what your bravery meant to me and my family. Adam felt tears welling in his eyes. Little did Emily know, her hero was sitting right there, hanging on to her every word. After the speech, Helen introduced Adam to Emily. The moment was charged with emotion as Emily took his hands in hers. Thank you, she said simply, tears streaming down her face. You gave me a second chance at life, and I've tried to make the most of it every day since. In that moment, Adam realized something profound. The courage it had taken to save Emily that night wasn't an anomaly, it was a part of who he was. And it was time he started living like it. The meeting with Emily marked a turning point in Adam Carter's life. As the days turned into weeks, her story lingered in his mind like a melody he couldn't shake. Her strength, resilience, and determination had awakened something in him, a hunger for purpose he hadn't felt in years. Adam couldn't stop replaying their conversation in his head. The way Emily had looked at him, tears in her eyes, when she thanked him for saving her life. It was a moment of pure connection, unburdened by the trivialities of everyday life. For the first time in years, Adam questioned why he had allowed himself to become complacent, working in a job he didn't love and settling for less than he knew he was capable of. The following week, Adam sat in his small apartment, staring at the flyer Helen had given him. It was for Emily's next speech at the community center. Her story of resilience and the impact of one's selfless act were now etched into his mind. Something stirred deep within him as he reread the words. He realized that saving Emily had been the most significant moment of his life, and he couldn't let it remain a singular event. That night, Adam made a decision that would alter the course of his life. He opened his laptop, typed "firefighter training program near me" into the search bar, and clicked on the first result. As he filled out the application, he felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Could he really do this? He hadn't been in a classroom in years, and the physical demands of firefighting seemed daunting. But the memory of pulling Emily from that burning car gave him courage. He hit submit and leaned back, exhaling deeply. The next morning, Adam gave notice at the Golden Vine. His manager, Lisa, looked at him with a mixture of surprise and concern. "Are you sure about this? Adam, you've been here for years. What's changed?" Adam hesitated for a moment, then said, "I've realized there's more I want to do with my life. It's time for me to pursue something meaningful." Lisa nodded, her expression softening. "Well, I wish you the best. You've always gone above and beyond here, so I know you'll do great wherever you go." Adam's journey into firefighting training was far from easy. The physical requirements alone were enough to test anyone's limits. The first day of training, Adam found himself staring at a towering flight of stairs he was expected to ascend while carrying a 70-pound hose pack. His muscles screamed in protest as he pushed himself upward, sweat dripping into his eyes. By the time he reached the top, his legs felt like jelly, and his lungs burned. "Not bad, Carter," barked Tom Harris, a gruff, seasoned firefighter who had taken an immediate interest in Adam. "But not great either. If you want to make it in this line of work, you've got to dig deeper." Tom was in his early 50s. His weathered face and salt and pepper hair a testament to decades of hard-earned experience. Despite his stern demeanor, there was an undeniable kindness in his eyes. Over the weeks, Tom became both a mentor and a source of inspiration for Adam. During one particularly grueling training session, Adam collapsed onto the ground, gasping for air. He had just completed a simulated rescue drill, crawling through a smoke-filled maze to retrieve a 180-pound dummy. Every muscle in his body felt like it was on fire. "You've got heart, kid," Tom said, standing over him. "But heart alone won't save lives. You need skill, strategy, and endurance. Remember, the people out there are counting on you." Adam nodded, wiping the sweat from his face. "I'll do better, I promise." Tom's face softened. "I know you will." One evening after training, Adam received a call from Helen. "Adam," she said, her voice filled with excitement, "Emily would like you to come to dinner this weekend. She wants to share something with you." Curiosity piqued. Adam agreed. That Saturday, he arrived at the Watsons' modest suburban home, a bouquet of flowers in hand. Helen greeted him warmly, ushering him inside, where the aroma of home-cooked food filled the air. Emily wheeled into the living room, her face lighting up when she saw him. "Adam," she exclaimed, extending her hand, "it's so good to see you again." They shared a meal filled with laughter and stories. But as the evening wore on, Emily's tone grew serious. She pulled out a notebook, its pages filled with notes and scribbles. "Adam, "I've been working on something," she said, "a project to inspire others who've faced life-altering events. And I want you to be a part of it." Adam was taken aback. "Me? But I'm just a guy trying to figure things out." Emily smiled. "That's exactly why I need you. People need to hear stories like yours, about ordinary people who make extraordinary choices." They spent hours discussing the project, which Emily called the ripple effect. The goal was to share stories of resilience and kindness, demonstrating how one act could change countless lives. Adam felt a surge of purpose as he realized he could contribute more than he ever imagined. As Adam juggled firefighter training and his involvement with the ripple effect, life threw him an unexpected challenge. During a routine drill, he injured his shoulder while carrying a heavy ladder. The pain was immediate and intense, and the doctor's diagnosis wasn't encouraging: a torn rotator cuff that would require weeks of recovery. The injury was a devastating blow. For days, Adam wrestled with self-doubt. Was he cut out for this path? Had he made a mistake by leaving behind the stability of his old life? But then he thought of Emily. If she could rebuild her life after such a traumatic event, he could endure a temporary setback. Determined not to lose momentum, Adam attended every training session, watching from the sidelines and absorbing every piece of advice Tom had to offer. One day, Tom pulled him aside. "You're tough, Carter. You've got the fire in you. But remember, it's not just about physical strength. It's about mental toughness. You'll come back stronger, I'm sure of it." Adam's recovery coincided with his first opportunity to apply what he had learned. One evening, while volunteering at the local youth center, a fire broke out in the kitchen. Panic spread through the building as children and staff scrambled to evacuate. Despite his injured shoulder, Adam sprang into action. "Everyone, stay calm and head to the nearest exit," he shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. As he guided the children outside, he noticed a young boy, Jamal, frozen in fear near the back of the room. Without hesitation, Adam ran to him, crouching to meet his eye level. "Jamal, I need you to trust me," Adam said, his voice steady. "We're going to get out of here together." The boy nodded, tears streaming down his face. Adam scooped him up, his injured shoulder protesting with every step, and carried him to safety. Outside, the fire department arrived just as Adam set Jamal down. Tom was among the firefighters, and when he saw Adam, he gave him a nod of approval. "Nice work, Carter," Tom said later. "You've got what it takes." The experience solidified Adam's resolve. He wasn't just learning to be a firefighter, he was becoming one. As weeks turned into months, Adam's transformation was undeniable. He passed his firefighter certification with flying colors, his confidence and skills honed through relentless effort and determination. Meanwhile, the ripple effect began gaining traction, with Adam and Emily presenting their stories to schools, community centers, and local organizations. Through it all, Adam discovered a profound truth. The strength to overcome adversity wasn't just about physical ability, it was about resilience, courage, and the willingness to make a difference. Adam Carter stood at the precipice of his dreams, staring down the most challenging moment of his new career. Months of relentless training, moments of doubt, and countless lessons from his mentor, Tom, had led to this, a fully fledged firefighter preparing for his first live emergency call. The firehouse buzzed with the controlled chaos of readiness. Adam's heart pounded as the alarm rang, piercing the crisp morning air. A structure fire had broken out in a densely populated apartment building just a few miles away. He donned his gear with practiced precision, the weight of the oxygen tank and protective suit grounding him in the reality of what lay ahead. You ready for this, Carter? Tom asked, his gruff voice cutting through the din. Adam nodded, meeting his mentor's eyes. I've been waiting for this. Tom clapped him on the shoulder. Good, stay sharp and stick with your team. And remember, it's not about being a hero, it's about saving lives. As the fire engine roared through the streets, Adam mentally reviewed everything he had learned. Fire behavior, ventilation techniques, search and rescue protocols, it all flashed through his mind like a reel of film. But when they arrived at the scene, theory quickly gave way to reality. The building was engulfed in flames. Thick black smoke billowing into the sky. Crowds of terrified residents huddled outside, their faces pale with fear. Adam could hear the distant cries of people still trapped inside. The captain barked orders, dividing the team into units. Carter, you're with me, Tom said. We've got reports of a child on the 3rd floor. Adam's stomach churned, but he nodded. He followed Tom into the building. The roar of the fire like a living beast surrounding them. The heat was oppressive, and visibility was near zero. But Adam's training kicked in. He moved methodically, sweeping each room with practiced precision. Over here, Tom shouted, his flashlight illuminating a small, frightened figure huddled in the corner of a smoke-filled bedroom. A boy, no older than 7, clung to a stuffed animal, his face streaked with soot. Adam crouched beside the child. Hey, buddy, he said gently, his voice steady despite the chaos. We're here to get you out. The boy nodded, his wide eyes filled with trust. Adam scooped him up, cradling him protectively as they navigated back through the inferno. The boy coughed, the sound weak against the backdrop of crackling flames. Just as they neared the exit, a deafening crack split the air. The ceiling above them groaned ominously before a section of it collapsed, blocking their path with a wall of flames. Adam instinctively shielded the boy with his body, his mind racing for a way out. Tom, he shouted, his voice muffled by the thick smoke. I'm here, Tom's voice called back from the other side of the debris. Hang tight, Carter, I'll get you out. But Adam didn't have time to wait. The boy's breathing was labored, and the heat was becoming unbearable. He scanned the room, his flashlight catching a glimpse of a window partially obscured by a curtain of smoke. It was their only chance. Hang on, buddy, Adam said, his voice calm despite the urgency. He sprinted to the window, smashing it with the butt of his flashlight. Cool air rushed in, a stark contrast to the suffocating heat inside. Adam climbed onto the sill, holding the boy tightly as he prepared to lower him to safety. Outside, the fire crew had deployed a ladder. We've got you, Carter, one of the firefighters shouted, ascending quickly to meet him. Adam handed the boy to the firefighter, his arms shaking with relief as the child was carried to safety. But as Adam turned to climb down, another explosion rocked the building. The force of it knocked him off balance, and he felt himself falling. Adam's fall was brief but brutal. He landed on the ladder awkwardly, his harness catching on a rung and sparing him from a more severe injury. Pain shot through his leg, but he gritted his teeth, determined not to let it slow him down. With the help of the firefighter below, Adam descended the ladder, each step a test of his resolve. When he reached the ground, he collapsed onto the grass, gasping for air. Paramedics swarmed him, checking for injuries, but Adam waved him off. The boy, he croaked. Is he okay? He's fine, Carter, Tom said, appearing at his side. Thanks to you. Adam exhaled a shaky breath, the adrenaline finally ebbing. For the first time, he allowed himself to feel the weight of what had just happened. He had faced his first real test, and come out alive. In the days that followed, the story of Adam's bravery spread through the community. The local news ran a segment featuring the rescued boy and his grateful parents. Adam watched the broadcast from his small apartment, a mixture of pride and humility swelling in his chest. Later that week, the firehouse held a small ceremony to honor Adam's actions. Tom presented him with a commendation, his voice uncharacteristically emotional as he spoke. Adam Carter represents the best of what it means to be a firefighter. Tom said, "He's got the heart, the skill, and the courage to do this job, and I couldn't be prouder to call him one of us." The applause that followed was deafening, but Adam's thoughts were elsewhere. He thought of Emily and the ripple effect her gratitude had set in motion. Her story had inspired him to take a leap of faith. And now, he was living proof of the power of one's selfless act. A week later, Adam received an invitation from Emily to attend another of her speeches. This time, she insisted he join her on stage. Nervous but honored, Adam agreed. The auditorium was packed, the energy palpable as Emily wheeled to the podium. She began her speech as she always did, recounting the accident that had changed her life and the stranger who had saved her. "But tonight," she said, her voice filled with emotion, "I want to introduce you to that stranger. He's not just my hero, he's a hero to many. Please welcome Adam Carter." The audience erupted in applause as Adam walked onto the stage. Standing beside Emily, he felt a lump rise in his throat. She smiled at him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You saved my life," Emily said, her voice cracking, "and now, you're saving so many others. You are the ripple. Adam, thank you for being my hero." Adam spoke briefly, sharing his journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. When he finished, the standing ovation was thunderous. But more than the applause, it was the knowledge that his story might inspire others to act selflessly that filled him with a deep sense of fulfillment. Adam's journey was far from over. He continued to grow as a firefighter, mentor young recruits, and collaborate with Emily on the ripple effect, spreading their message of courage and kindness. The boy he saved, Jamal, became a regular visitor at the firehouse, often sitting wide-eyed as Adam shared stories of his adventures. Adam had learned that life wasn't about grand gestures or monumental achievements, it was about the small, selfless acts that created ripples, touching lives in ways we might never fully see. And so, Adam Carter lived his life by the same principle that had guided him through the fire: be the ripple, make a difference, and always choose kindness. Life often unfolds in ways we can't predict. And the story of Adam Carter reminds us that even the smallest acts of courage and kindness can set off ripples that change lives. His journey, from an ordinary waiter to a firefighter and community leader, teaches us that it's never too late to pursue a meaningful life. It's a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference, even in the most unexpected moments. As we go about our daily lives, let's remember the lessons from Adam's story. Kindness is contagious. A simple act of selflessness can inspire others in ways you may never imagine. Whether it's helping a stranger, supporting a friend, or standing up for what's right, your actions matter. Resilience fuels growth. Life will challenge you, but it's how you rise after setbacks that defines your character. Use your struggles as stepping stones toward your goals. Every action has a ripple effect. You may not see the full impact of your choices, but trust that even small gestures of goodwill can create waves of change. To our incredible viewers across the US, Europe, and beyond, thank you for being a part of this journey. If Adam's story inspired you, imagine the countless other tales of bravery, resilience, and kindness we'll share in the future. Don't miss out. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more amazing, heartfelt tales like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and by subscribing, you'll get notified about our latest and greatest stories as soon as they're uploaded. Hit that subscribe button now. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it moved or inspired you. Let's spread positivity, one story at a time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Glowing Star.